What's going on, good people? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome to Pro Fan Talk. My name is Markus Thomas. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday of Dallas week. It's on and popping up here in Philly. A lot of chatter going back and forth between the two cities. And this is a big week for Philadelphia fans. We got the Phillies in the playoff. They managed to steal one down in Atlanta. Atlanta came back, tied it up. So we 1-1, but that's a good place to be, all things considered. And it's Dallas week. So we are ready to rock and roll. Been a lot of talk, a lot of smack talking. I like to say we ain't dealing with smack, we dealing with facts. But it is crazy. Always a good week when it's Dallas week. Always, it's just exciting, man. It's just exciting. Appreciate you joining me. I'm seeing everybody in the chat. See my Pops. Pops was number one out the limo at 6 p.m. tonight. I appreciate you, Dad. Mom was very soon after number 2. Sean Young, number 3. What's going on, bro? TK, number 4. Who's number 5? Chris, my grandson, number 5. Ed McDowell, I'm going to shout you out. You number 6. Jake Frio, as always. Good to see you, bro. John, 6-0. We working on it, John. We working on it, man. We working on it. Jake, right off the bat, you disagree with the poll? Yeah. I'm not mad at that thought. I just got a feeling that our defense is going to have a little something extra this week. Deshaun, what's good, man? Our defense is going to have a little something extra this week. And rightfully so, there's been a lot of talk about Micah Parsons. A lot of talk. Rightfully so, because Micah Parsons is a beast. Point, period, end of paragraph. That man is a beast. Had an interesting question this week. Very interesting question this week on my Facebook page. If you don't already know, join my Facebook fan page. It's called Pro Fan Talk. It's a group. Join the squad, man, or check me out on YouTube, Pro Fan Talk on YouTube. But I had an interesting question. Someone asked, does Philadelphia wish they would have drafted Micah Parsons instead of Devonte Smith? Great question. But my response was, that was the wrong question to ask. The question that we want to ask is, if we would have drafted Micah Parsons, would Jonathan Gannon have used him right? If Micah Parsons was in Philadelphia right now, would Gannon let him move all around like he's doing in Dallas? I don't know. We have a habit of, you see something you want, you see a free agent you want to get or pick up or something like that, and we immediately, you want to take that production in that situation and apply it to our team. And it doesn't always work that way. I had the same question. I saw the stuff going on social media. Run CMC, Christian McCaffrey. Looks like Carolina might be looking to deal him to get some draft picks once they get a new coach. So, same question. Would we want Christian McCaffrey? I don't know. I'm happy with the backs we got now. Miles Sanders is looking phenomenal. He's catching the ball. You know what Gainwell can do. And we still got Boston Scott in the cut. We still got Trey Sermon in the cut, who Trey Sermon really hasn't had an opportunity to really get in and do his thing yet. I don't know if he'll ever get that opportunity. I like to have in the big back. I like what I saw of him briefly when he was in a couple weeks ago, but you just got to get a bigger sample size. But same question. If we had Christian McCaffrey, if Howie made that deal happen, would we use him? We don't, in my opinion, we're not even using the backs we got right. Week before last. The week before last, Jacksonville. That was the first game where we really used was it Jacksonville or can't remember now if it was Jacksonville or Washington. But that was the first time we used Miles Sanders like a number one back. He was the bell cow. He had what, 17 carries? That's how you're supposed to use a number one back. Now we got somebody else in here. Are we going to do that? Because we already know McCaffrey's a great receiver, so you got to use him both ways. So that kid's really try not to come off the field. Plus, he's got injury issues too. So I'm good with where we are. Don't change nothing. And very interesting point. After seeing what happened with Devonte Adams out in Las Vegas, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because I know Miles Sanders, if he keeps going on the pace that he's at, he is going to be in line for a big payday. So he will be in the same situation that Devonte Adams was in. Devonte Adams opted to take the bag. Go play with his homeboy, take the bag, and everybody's happy. However, the grass might be greener on the other side, but it's still got to be mowed, man. Still got to be mowed. And right now, Las Vegas is struggling. They on the struggle bus hard. They've lost a couple close games, but they still losses. It don't say CL, it just say L. So a little bit of buyer's remorse and all of that kind of stuff. Devonte Adams and Aaron Rodgers had a good thing going, and he went for the bag. So there's a cost and a gamble when you do that. There's definitely a gamble when you do that. Yes, you are going to get paid. Tyreek Hill, that remains to be seen. He's looking good, but I still haven't seen anybody throw the ball to Tyreek like Mahomes was throwing it. He still got to stop to catch the passes. So I don't know. When you take that bag, I'm sure there are more examples, but the only person I can think of that took the bag and is better off for it, and he went from a great situation to a great situation, is why am I blanking on him? Your boy in that went from the Rams to Buffalo, Von Miller. Von Miller is wrecking shop. Josh Allen has arrived. So you get an elite player on offense, an elite player on defense. Von Miller is Hall of Fame for certain. So he's the only one I can think of that took the bag and is in a better situation than he was last year. And he won the Super Bowl last year. That's saying a lot. That's saying a lot. Deshaun, I agree with you 100%. We would not use Christian McCaffrey the correct way. Or if you were talking about Micah Parsons, either one, I don't think we would use him right here. So, yep, Michael Copper, it is a redundant question because we'll never know. But it's fun to talk about it. So, it'll be interesting. It'll be very, very interesting. Any concerns about Hurts against the blitz? He's bottom 3 in league when under pressure. Here's what I will say about that, winners. It is, I don't know if it's just me. I got to watch some more film about this. But for me, it looks like we don't have a lot of hot routes against the blitz. Maybe I could be looking at it wrong, but I've seen a bunch of blitz plays where they come through, and when you're looking for a hot route, you're looking for somebody in that same vicinity. So if you got a blitz coming from your right side, your right defensive end, you want a hot route in that same field of vision. So you can see the blitz and you can see the hot route, and you can get the ball out super quick. Maybe it's a swing pattern, or maybe it's a check down, a screen, something like that. It's got to be not a long pass. It's usually a quick out, a flat, a wide receiver. A halfback, call it a wheel route, or a check down. A halfback comes down, maybe he chips on the defensive end, then he turns around for the check down. But we got to have a hot route. I think that one of the advantages that we get playing somebody like Micah Parsons and Demarcus Lawrence is because those dudes are uber aggressive. They coming. Watched a lot of film this week. I'm still watching film. One thing I've looked at is when Micah Parsons is on that edge and he got them hands on that knee, he coming. He's coming. Sometimes he still looks like he's coming, but his hands are dropped to the side, and he has a tendency to twist around, do a stunt. LA got caught a couple times like that. He lined up on the edge. He takes one step up. That offensive tackle or tight end, depending on the formation, goes to engage. Then he cuts back to the inside of the guard. Sometimes the guard center gap. He's fast enough to do that. And he still got to Sam Bradford. Bradford. He still got there. So it'll be interesting to see Matt Stafford. Thank you. I'm blanking out today. I said Sam Bradford, Sammy Sleeves. He still got the Matt Stafford. So it'll be interesting to see the chess match, because our chess game has got to be on point. We can take advantage of some of the things that Dallas is doing. I was watching film. I went back and looked when Dallas played the Giants. Giants gave them a pretty decent game. But I did notice a couple times the Giants took advantage of some formation matchups. And what I mean by that is, got some pictures for you. So hold on. I was going to do some video, but YouTube gets a little sensitive with copyright stuff when you post NFL stuff. So I'm gonna start posting NFL footage and breaking down film on my Facebook channel, on Pro Fan Talk Facebook channel, but not on A2D, because I don't want A2D to catch any strikes or nothing like that. So you'll see some stuff on my channel, but I can post some screenshots where, let me see, it's third. Oh, what am I looking for? Here we go. Check this out. This formation right here, right? The Giants had the same formation. Uh-oh. Did I miss it? Did I not? Nope. Uh-oh. All right, let's just leave it here. The Giants had this same formation, except Saquon Barkley was on the left. So you can't see the outside. Basically, it's trips. In this situation, it's trips left. You got three receivers on your left side, one receiver on the right, and you get the running back to the right. Same defensive formation now. Same exact defensive formation. The Giants had basically a trips right, gun left. So what happened was that number 70, that offensive tackle on the left side, is going to go out and reach Demarcus Lawrence. Right? So flip-flop 41 to the left side. And in that game where 42 was, Vander Esch was right there. So you got Vander Esch on a running back. That's a mismatch right there. Saquon ran a tight wheel just outside the number. So look at that left hash. He basically, Van Der Esch dropped back in zone. Saquon did a tight wheel, but attacked the outside shoulder of Van Der Esch. And the minute that Van Der Esch looked like he was about to turn his hips to run with him to the outside, Saquon cut it back up and went straight up the numbers. Or in this case, straight up the hash, and was wide open, but he dropped the ball. Jones hit him with the ball. The ball hit him in the hands. He just dropped it. It was a little high, but he should have caught it. And that would have been at least a 15 to 20-yard gain, possibly a touchdown, because the only person that was coming down is the safety. If he could have got the ball down, got his head around, he probably would have juked the safety and been to the house. But if he catches that ball, that's at least 15 yards. And they run this a lot. And you notice the middle is wide open. This ain't nothing but an extended 4-2 nickel. Most of the stuff they play is 4-2 nickel. You got 4 down linemen, you got 2 linebackers, and you got 5 defensive backs. Sometimes one of those defensive backs is going to come up and they'll look like that third linebacker. But they're playing 2 linebackers all night long. Parsons is going to be the hybrid. Sometimes he's back as a linebacker. Sometimes he's up on the edge like here as a DN. Never puts his hand in the dirt. He's always up. Very similar to what we do with Hassan Reddick. So we've got some situations that we can take advantage of. Use the old Aikido move. Take the opponent's momentum and use it against them. Because, again, Demarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, they come hard. When it comes to the blitz, the reason why they have those two linebackers right there, they're not spying, but they're responsible for that middle. You don't necessarily need 3 linebackers. They got an extra defensive back. Now, where that's going to come into play is if we beat them in formation, put a tight end out there, now you got a defensive back on a tight end. If you got some type of screen or run play, that leans to our advantage. If we can get outside, now you got 205-pound defensive back on a 230, 240-pound tight end. We should win that battle. And we should get to the second level. So we got some things that we can do to neutralize them, but our chess game has got to be on point, man. It's got to be on point. So, Matt, dude, in my opinion, the only way we lose this game is if our defense tackles like they tackled against the Cardinals. That was god-awful. TJ Edwards was missing tackles. It was ugly. The cornerbacks was missing tackles. Both touchdowns they scored were on missed tackles by our linebackers and our defensive secondary. Both of them. So, Matt, I'm with you 100%, bro. If we tackle like we tackled last week, we're going to have a problem. These boys better be coming up and wrapping up. Fundamentals. Rodney, we're going to get to running the ball in a minute. But, yeah, and it's funny because nobody really talked about that. Hector, TJ wasn't awful. He wasn't awful because he did make some plays, but he let some plays get through too. So let's just say he was even. For every plus or double plus that he had in film session, he had a couple negatives, man. Tackling was just, it was horrible. It was horrible. So Bradbury's, yeah, he missed some tackles, but he's been picking up the slack for Slay. So every week that Josiah Scott is in there, he gets a little bit better. I just don't think he's ready yet. He still looks lost a little bit. We got lucky a little bit. They got lucky a little bit. That one pass to Hollywood Brown dropped. If he catches that ball, that's 6. Period. Ain't nobody catching him. Hollywood Brown was better than I expected him to be. Our secondary did not have a good game against him. So I'm looking for Slay and Bradbury and Chauncey, and we got to get it together. Avonte Maddox has been practicing. I'm not sure if he's starting. I hope he is because we need him back there. We definitely need him back there. Diggs doesn't, not Diggs, but CeeDee Lamb does not scare me. He does not scare me. They got injury issues. We are healing up. They still got injury issues based on this was the ESPN report I looked at about an hour ago. And they got more people on there, but this is the only thing I'm paying attention to. Dalton Schultz, he's got a knee issue. Micah Parsons, that groin injury was a little bit worse than people have expected. And Demarcus Lawrence has a chest injury. I don't know how that happened, but they all had limited practice, and they're all listed as questionable. Now, I had heard some stuff about Micah Parsons, like his groin injury was pretty significant. I don't know. They keep that type of stuff under wraps, but my mindset is until I see him on the sideline with one of them security tags in civvies, he's playing. Same thing with Demarcus Lawrence. So until I see that joker on the sideline in street clothes, you just assume that he's playing. Dak, I don't think there's a chance that Dak plays. Dak, if they're dumb enough to put Dak in the game, all it's going to take is one swipe on his wrist, and you're back to square one. So it wouldn't make sense for him to play. It wouldn't make sense. Dallas was lucky enough to find out that, like us, and a few other teams, they got a really good backup. So, and they're benefiting from that. I don't think it's going to be too much of a quarterback controversy when Dak is ready to come back. If they were smart, they would try to make it to the bye week. But we'll see. If Demarcus Lawrence said that, Sean, you can't really disagree, but I disagree because even though Detroit is not a great team, you mean to tell me Charles Harris ain't a good defensive end linebacker? Hutchinson's not any good. So I don't necessarily buy that. We face some good competition. Sometimes the record is not going to dictate how somebody is playing. Quiet as kept. Even Washington has some boys that were playing on defense. Anytime you got to think about it like this. Just because somebody's not getting a sack, or like I say, sometimes you can make a play by not making a play. Now, when we played Washington, Jalen was stepped up and stepped out when he had to, got out of there. Didn't do too many runs. But anytime a quarterback's got to step up and get out of his lane, out of his passing lanes, that means a defensive end or a defensive tackle is doing their job. So, what's up, Chucks? So, yes, DeMarcus will be our biggest test. But, like, and I've been here, and I've been guilty of this because I recognize and I respect Micah Parsons for what he brings to the table. Again, that man is the beast, point period in the paragraph. However, if he lines up on our right side, he got to deal with a man named Lane Johnson, who I'm trying to remember the last time Lane Johnson gave up a sack. Like, he's that good. Still not sure what's going on with Big Mailata next week. Driscoll had a good game last week, minus the holding penalties. Some of those were questionable. So, but for the most part, he played well. So it's not like DeMarcus Lawrence is just going to run over whoever we got out. Dude, Opeta played decent enough. But you're not just going to get in there and run over Lane Johnson. Not happening. Lane Johnson is the best in the business. Find 5 more offensive tackles better than Lane. Sean, I saw that. I thought it was 2020, but I think he gave up a sack last year or something like that, or a half a sack. He may not have got a credit for it, but I believe he gave up 1. But we're talking about 1, maybe 2 sacks in 2-3 years. So he's a wall over there. He's a wall. So it's not like Demarcus Lawrence is going to be just, running roughshod on our offensive line. That ain't happening. Not going to happen. So, and I tell you what, and I was very happy I had this feeling last week when Kelsey went down. He came out limping off. Juergens came in. I didn't feel any kind of way when Kelsey left the game. Because what I've seen from Juergens, that boy is ready right now. Juergens is ready right now. So I'm good. Kelsey just keeps coaching him up. Juergens will be ready. So our depth at defensive line got a little bit scary last week. I ain't gonna lie, got a little bit scary. But backups came in. Again, those boys on the left side. You just got to get time and you got to get ready and get into the flow of the game. Keep them hands inside so we can nullify those holding calls. Right now, Cooper Rush is playing. Cooper Rush is the ultimate game manager because he's not throwing the ball over the field. He does not have a lot of passing yards. He's just not turning the ball over, and they are playing very smart. Get the ball to your playmakers and let them make plays. That's it. Our defensive front is going to be tested because they are going to run the ball. Pollard is going to get a bulk. They're going to do thunder and lightning all day. They're going to try to bash us with Zeke and hit us. Pollard is the quick back. So we got to be ready for that. TJ Edwards, you got to be on point this week. They are going to run the ball on us. My poll question is, can we keep the Cowboys under? You see it scrolling at the bottom. Can we keep the Cowboys under 100 yards rushing? That's the challenge. I want to see big man in the middle, Jordan Davis. I want to see him get more snaps. I want to see him get inching up to like 50, 55% of the snaps. I believe he got 46% of the snaps last week. I think that's correct. Between 40 and 44, which is good for him. I want to see him get better and better. I still think he might need to lose a little bit of weight so we can get that endurance up, because I did see him huffing and buffing, but I also did see him hawk down the Cardinals running back. That was impressive. So he needs to keep that up. I haven't seen, when he's in the game, I haven't seen a center that can stop him yet. Haven't seen it yet. And anytime you do that, you cut off half the field. Basically, you got to make a choice. You can't come up the middle, so you got to go tackle to tackle. You got to either go to your left or to your right. You're not coming in the A gap. You're not coming either side or your center. And you might not even get the guard tackle gap, depending on how much penetration he's getting. And he is driving centers back at least 3 yards. So when you drop him back to pass and you see the guy coming straight at you, as a quarterback, you got to make a move. Where that becomes significant is if quarterback's got to step out of his lane, he wants a clear passing lane so he can go through all of his options, go through his progression across the field and see what he got to see. When the minute you step to your left or your right, half your field of vision is gone. Unless you 6'8". Jordan is 6'6". Get up there, get them paws up in the air, and just make them move. And what you want to happen is you don't know which way the quarterback's going to move. But what you're hoping is he'll step into your help. If Hassan Reddick is coming off the edge, if BG is coming off the edge, just like you saw in Washington, all he got to do was get that paw up and just get a piece of that ball. And all it took was the pressure coming up the middle. I think in that situation with Washington, it was Cox and Wentz stepped to his right a little bit. Hassan was right there. It just Hassan got there a step earlier, a step sooner than BG, and got a piece of that ball and ended up getting the recovery. That's all you need. Just get them out of that lane. You get in their face. They don't want to stay and take that pressure, so they got to get out. And unless I'm missing something, has anybody seen Cooper Rush run much? Has he had to scramble much? That's what I want to see. Put him under pressure. Pressure makes diamonds or bust pipes. One of the two. So we'll see what's going to happen, man. And it's again, I keep saying this. We gotta have that chess game on point, man. Gotta have it on point. So here is right now, as of right now, here's our injury report. It looks like everybody's coming back. Nobody's out. Most of everybody's coming back. So we're looking okay. Dallas, they got a pretty significant list. Micah Parsons did not practice. Obviously, Dak Prescott. Demarcus Lawrence was limited. Demarcus Lawrence is going to play. Micah Parsons has a groin injury. So here's what happens when you're dealing with groins. Anybody out there in the chat, if you ever ran track, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You cannot rehab a groin. The only thing you can do is let it rest and let it heal. Because with a groin, the minute you take off full speed, that's like your tire popping again. And your mind won't let you go full speed. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out with groin. Benefit for us with that groin issue. It would not surprise me if on one of these plays at scrimmage, Micah Parsons gets a smack on the back of his groin, on the bottom of a pile or something like that. That's what guys do. They get nasty in them piles, man. And not for nothing, some of the plays that I watch Micah Parsons, he did get lazy at the end. That surprised me. Like, play was going in a different direction, and he just kind of walked it off, for lack of a better phrase. And that surprised me. Didn't happen often, but it did happen. What I expect from Jalen Hurts, keep doing what you've been doing. However, get the ball to A.J. Brown, please. I don't know if that was, are they doubling him? Was he not open? I don't know. Get the ball to A.J. Brown, please. And keep feeding Miles, please. The best way to neutralize Micah Parsons is run at him. If Micah Parsons is blitzing, it should be very easy to kick him out and run underneath him. I am very worried because of his speed, again, running from gun. RPOs are not going to work this week. They're too fast on the edge. Sean, what is this? September 14th, in 13 starts in 2021, Johnson did not allow a single sack over 416 passing nights. He gave up a grand total of 0 sacks, 1 quarterback hit, and 11 pressures. Okay. That's that man over there. Appreciate that, Sean. So he ain't Micah Parsons or Demarcus Lawrence ain't just running through us. Not gonna happen. But back to Jalen, we got to be smart. We have to establish our run game early. They are nicked up on defense. We got to beat them up. I don't want to see any RPOs. I don't want to see any wide receiver screens. I hate when we run that screens. I know they had success with it, but it's like it's good until it isn't. And it always isn't at the worst possible time. So, and I got a feeling they're going to run that because when I watched the film from the game against the Giants ran that same screen, that same wide receiver screen, like 3 or 4 times against Dallas with some success. So I expect to see it. I just hope they get it off. I hate that play because for us, it seems like when they run that wide receiver screen, like it almost seems like they ran out of plays and they can't think of nothing else to do. But let's just run this. And it's like we're always ready for it. Or the defense is always ready for it. I don't know. I just hate that play. Because for some reason, it seems like with us, we don't have good success with it. We don't have good success with that play, and we didn't have good success trying to run that rub play that everybody's running because they know how to run it. Oh, that would make me so mad. Michael, we got to use the game right, but you can't. Here's the thing. If you run a couple times and let's say you only get 2 or 3 yards, you can't stop running the ball. Something is going to pop. But you got to be committed to running the ball. It's that simple. If you don't get but 2 to 3 yards, you got to running the ball. Basically, you got to get something to make those linebackers step up and play the run. What that's going to do is open up your play action and create some space and separation where you can throw the ball. That's what the run game does for you. When you run in it successfully, that's when you just beat up. You just beat up the defense. You want your offensive lineman going forward. You go forward in the run game. And that's what you want to do. I don't mind us going tempo a little bit more. We can do that pretty well. And then we stop doing it. I know they can't run that whole game, but, do what you can do when you can do it. So it'll definitely be an interesting battle to see, Sanders versus Pollard. Because Pollard is the feature back now, not Zeke. But Zeke is still a problem. Zeke will bang you. And I'm hoping TJ Edwards just steps up and just lights Zeke up. Just light him up. Because they're going to run inside. They're going to run inside. They're going to run off tackle, off that left side. I don't even think Jason Peters is going to play much. He already hurt. He's already hurt. And by the way, everybody getting all in their feelings on Jason Peters' comments about Philly fans being effing idiots and stuff like that. And I'm like, the dude didn't tell no lies, man. Some Eagles fans are idiots. I was going back and forth with somebody in the Facebook group, and he said, I don't appreciate being called idiots by former players and stuff like that. And I just politely posted the video clip of the dude eating poop in the Super Bowl after we won the Super Bowl. I was like, dude, he wasn't lying. He was not lying. And everybody, I guess they just didn't like the fact that he said it. I don't know. But yeah, get out your feelings, man. We ain't that damn sensitive. Not in Philly, we not. Like, so stop playing. That man went down there and made a little extra cash, got a chance to practice for about 3 days before he got hurt again. So, let that man make his money so he can come back to Philly and retire an Eagle. Stop playing. But we got a lot of work to do, man. We got a lot of work to do. I still say this is the first game where I believe we are even on our defensive line. We're even with our defensive line. I still say we haven't found any. The only people that can stop A.J. Brown are the Philadelphia Eagles. And that's who's doing it. It should be a rule in that locker room. They should put it up in the locker room. A.J. Brown runs a quick slant out of slot once every quarter. Once every quarter. He should run a quick slant out of slot. Just to get him the ball. Get his hands on the ball once every quarter. That should be a law. So, what's up, Public Enemy? Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, we don't need annex, man. We need good, solid play. But you got to be smart and you got to take advantage of the matchups because we do have matchups. If we can get Parsons is going to be on the line most of the time. Most of the time. And if we can get that matchup where Parsons is on the line and he's coming, even if he fakes it and he drops back into coverage, there's some things that he can't do. The same reason we complaining about Hassan Reddick and stuff like that is going to be the same thing that they don't want to see with Micah Parsons. But guess what? I'm looking at the other side because I'll take any of our running backs, any of our tight ends against Vander Esch any day of the week. We win those battles. Diggs does not scare me. Definitely does not scare me. So Diggs is like feast or famine. He's either going to try to go for a pick six or is going to get beat. So I'm not worried about Diggs. And I'm not worried about our receiver. Again, like I said, CeeDee Lamb doesn't necessarily scare me. He's going to get his plays, but it is what it is. We have, and I said this before, and we talked about this on the show before this year had started, before preseason was over with. And I remember saying that Dallas, we have the better team. Dallas has the better quarterback. There was no question. Until Jalen Hurts can prove otherwise. He has proven otherwise. He has proven he is a better quarterback right now than Dak is. Taking the injury off the table. Jalen Hurts was playing better than Dak Prescott was playing, period. So, and nothing's changed. Their defense is playing good. Our defense is playing good. Micah Parsons has what? 4 sacks? Hassan Reddick has 2.5 and 2 forced fumbles. So we can go tit for tat. We still have the better secondary. They might have the edge at linebacker, but you still can't act like TJ Edwards is a slouch. And most of the time, Micah Parsons is really not playing linebacker. He's playing defensive end. When he's getting all those sacks, he's coming from the edge. So, okay. Thank you, TK. It's still a 2.5 difference. Yeah. So, Parsons got 6. Hassan's got 4.5 with, I believe, either 1 or 2 strip sacks. I know he's got 1, but I thought he had another one. I know he got a piece of 1. So, we can go back and forth, man. Our defense is solid. So one of the things I like to do is listen to the Cowboys, whoever we're playing. I challenge anybody. Listen to their podcast. Listen to their podcast during the week, and you can hear what they're worried about and what they're thinking about. They are worried about their offensive line on their left side. They got some young guys that they just don't think it's playing up to, up to snuff, and you got injuries. So they've got some concerns too. It all gets washed over because so much attention is on Micah Parsons. Because again, the boy's playing out of his mind. However, Micah Parsons ain't got nothing to do with your offensive line, and can you stop our offensive line? Don't forget about that man on the other edge. Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat. Hargrave is due. Cox has been solid, man. Cox has been solid. Kaiser White's been solid. We still have the better team, in my opinion. We have the better team, in my opinion. But we got to go out there and prove it. Steichen, you got to open that playbook, man, and you got to win this chess match. Got to win it. Got to win it. And it's not, anything. You ain't got to be a rocket science. Just take what they give you and look for the matchups. Look for the matchups. Let Parsons and Demarcus Lawrence blast their way upfield and run right underneath them. I believe our center guard combinations can handle those 2 linebackers when they're in that 4-2 nickel. Sometimes they run basically what could be considered a 5-1 stack, but basically that's the same formation. The way they play it is 4-2 nickel because you get 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers. Micah Parsons is usually one of those linebackers, but most of the time he's playing like a defensive end. So you could technically say it was a 5-1 stack. They always get that nickel back there, 5 receivers so they don't get burned. But that leaves them wanting in the middle. You can expose them in the middle. So it all depends on what they want to do. It all depends on where Parsons is lining up, how they going to play him. And remember, I'm saying this, y'all. Watch the game. When you see Parsons on that edge and he's got his hands on his knees, he's coming. If he's got his hands down, look for him to do a twist. They've got tails just like everybody else. Wick, I'm pumped for this game too, man. I'm with you on that one. This is a big game. This is the game. So last year, we were playing the Saints when Jalen Hurts ran that RPO, put his foot in the ground, and broke the ankles of that Saints defensive end and ended up scoring. That was the play where Philadelphia said he might be the guy. He might be the guy. That was the play where we said, yeah, I want to give, after seeing that, I'll give him a shot. Let's see what's going to happen with him. Because Philadelphia was still 50-50 on Jalen Hurts. Rightfully so. Because the boy threw the ball like he couldn't hit a mirror in the bathroom. But he understood the assignment, went to work, went to the lab, off season, and came back ready to play, and he's balling from the pocket. He's balling from the pocket. But that RPO, that play when he broke that dude's ankles, that was the play where Philadelphia said, "Oh, okay. Okay, I see you." Now, Sunday is the game. If Jalen Hurts shows out, he removes all doubt. It's a wrap. If you perform against the Cowboys and you take us to 6-0, you remove all doubt. Nobody got nothing to say. I don't know if he's not the franchise. I just don't like him. He ain't got the arm. All of that nonsense that everybody was talking. And myself and other people that were pro Hurts was like, dude, you got to get a dude a chance to grow. You got to get a dude a chance to have the same offense for 2 years in a row. He was going through the same stuff all these other rookies were going through. The same stuff. Except he wasn't turning the ball over as much. He still was the better first-year starter throwing with the low number of picks. Now, mind you, we're talking about that game against Carolina, and that I believe he had 2 or 3 picks against Carolina, and he had 3 picks, I believe, against the Giants last year when we lost that crap fest in New York. And he still didn't turn the ball over when you look at the seasons at the end of the year, he didn't turn the ball over that much, even with those games. So if he shows out Sunday night, and I expect that he will, you remove all doubt. He's that dude. Howie, dust off that checkbook, man. Well, it ain't dusty because you've been doing work, brother. But just make sure you clean off a little corner of the desk. Put that notebook down and talk to his financial team, and y'all make some things happen because he is that dude. He is our QB1. Granderson, yep, broke his ankles. I think I posted that. Like, that is the play where we knew Jalen Hurts was that dude. That was the play. So I'm looking for him to do the same. I don't know if he can do that same move against. I think he can do it against Demarcus Lawrence. I'm not sure he can do that against Micah Parsons, because Micah Parsons is 4.3 fast. That's just stupid. But like I said, you can use somebody's balance against them. You can make some stuff happen. We have some good opportunities to dominate and take this game away. So I have all the faith in the world that Nick Sirianni and Steichen and Gannon know full well how important this game is. No excuses. They know full well. Ethan, you got a fantasy question? I'm not big into fantasy. I don't really play fantasy, but I'll try to answer your question. Ask your question, bro. He spun out like a teacup ride with a loose boat at Disney World. That's funny. Ethan, if you got a fantasy question, go ahead and ask it. So, but anyways, man. Not for nothing, man. I'm interested in this game tonight. I know it can't be a snore fest like it was last week with Denver. It can't be that bad. All right, chat. Check this out. Ethan got a question. Fantasy question. Mike Williams or Curtis Samuel? Chris, I know you got your fantasy teams and stuff like that. Who do you think he should start? Like I said, I don't play fantasy. Me personally, I would go with Curtis Samuel. I can't give you any particular reason why, but do your homework. Go on NFL.com and look what they did last week against what defense and see what they expect of them. You got 20 minutes. Yeah, man, that is the crux of playing fantasy football, bro. Gotta get that lineup in, man. And don't sit the wrong person, because Murphy's Law says you're gonna sit the wrong person and then somebody else gonna go off. Yeah. Good point, Chris. Good point. But you never know. You never know what a team's gonna do. That's the beauty of fantasy. You never really know what somebody's gonna do. So it would seem to me like Curtis Samuel is a safe bet. I don't know. So it would seem like that would have the better odds. But again, that doesn't mean anything because it's fantasy. What was it? Travis Kelce had what? Under 30 yards receiving and caught 4 touchdowns? Who does that? That's what, 27 points? Or no, 31 points fantasy? So you got Scary Terry starting tonight. So I'm hoping. Now watch, Scary Terry gonna start, but it's gonna be all Jahan Dotson. So Elton though, or Ethan, I would say Ethan, go with Samuel, man. Go with Samuel. TK, how many points did you get from Kelce last night? That was fun. That was fun to watch last night, man. That was like last weekend. That was ridiculous. Monday night. Crazy. But 36 points. Yeah, man. I wonder what the money is. I'm glad I don't bet, and I don't get into all of that stuff. It's just one less thing I need to worry about. I'm a nerd, so I got computer equipment to buy, so I don't need to be betting. So, but anyways, man, I'm gung ho for this game. Look for more content coming out this week. I'm trying to do some more stuff. I got some gaming stuff coming up on my YouTube channel. So just silly stuff. If y'all don't know, I'm a nerd. I'm a graphic designer, and I love football. So I do all my own work, all these backgrounds and stuff I put together. I'm trying to do some virtual reality stuff. Just not quite there yet, but I definitely got some plans to get some. I'm trying to do some cool stuff that nobody's seen before. So when it comes out, it's going to be dope. Trust me. So, Sean, I'm going to post. I'm going to post your video. I think I posted it. I'm going to repost it tomorrow. You doing the push-ups in the Grand Canyon. So that was cool. And Sean, aren't you supposed to be on the news or something this weekend? Saturday or Sunday pregame? Post that up on my Facebook in the Facebook group. Let us know where you're gonna be and like what channel and stuff like that, if you know, so we can shout it out. So, man, I'm looking forward to it this weekend. I'm excited. I'm excited. It's been a long time since I've been this excited for a game. Fox 29. Tomorrow morning. Okay, y'all check out Sean Young. Fox 29 tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. That means some of y'all got to get up early. Do it anyways. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited for this game. I think for the first time in a long time, we got a situation where we got a quarterback that's going to put his stamp on the city. That's a good place to be. He's going to put his stamp on the city, carrying everybody on his back. And the growth that he has shown from season to season, the progress, throwing the ball, saying the same thing. Hey, sis, my twin sister came in late, but she here. Love you. But the valid criticisms we had of him, couldn't throw the ball accurately, couldn't throw the ball with anticipation or on time. Those were accurate criticisms. To see where he has come. And you know what? I got to find this tape. I got to find this for next one. I know I got it way back with my boy Jim Ballard. Jim Ballard was my quarterback when we won the World Bowl for the Scottish Claymores. And he was on the show in preseason after Sirianni was hired, because he coached Sirianni. He knows the Sirianni family, but he coached Sirianni in arena, indoor league football. So he knows him very well. But me and him talked right after the flower comments, and Philadelphia was like, nah. And he said it. Me and him texted today or yesterday rather, and he said it. He said, how's Philly feeling about Sirianni now? He was 100% right, because in that conversation, he was like, just give him time. He said, trust me. This dude knows what he's doing. And like, he sung his praises, and he was 100% right. Sirianni's got this squad in this city buying in, flowers and all, crazy T-shirts, wearing the greats on the T-shirts, I like it like he wears the guys. You make a big play, you get a T-shirt. I like stuff like that. That's silly stuff that doesn't take much effort, but it goes a long way in endearing yourself with your squad. And he's one of those guys, you can tell guys will run through the wall for him. Everybody can't say that. You can be the greatest coach in the world, but everybody doesn't have that attitude where you want to lay it on the line for that dude, that coach, or that player, or that teammate. Everybody doesn't have that. Sirianni's got that. So, hype for Jalen Hurts. I'm hyped for him to put his stamp on this city as QB number 1 and keep it moving. And we can see that 6-0. All right. Go Birds. Let's go. It's Dallas week. Let's get it on and popping. So check out this Snore Fest. And check me out on my Facebook page, Pro Fan Talk. And hopefully next week we'll be talking 6-0. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy the game. Don't fall asleep on it. I'm interested to see what these if Carson Wentz can rebound. But really, I want to see the kid from Chicago. That's it. So y'all have a good night. I'm out. Go Birds.